Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Shweta. She's Ginny, and we are from Ginny's Planet. And with me, we have Poulomi.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Yeah. So, welcome to the first conversation on what Ginny Reads. This is a series that is going to run every Tuesday at 7 p.m., where we will bring one book at a time. But let me step back and say a few things about who and what and why. Okay, so Guinea's Planet is a social enterprise that nurtures empathy and respect for diversity, and we do that through dolls, puppets, workshops, stories, and a lot more. Poulomi is a development sector professional who's worked a lot in the area of women, gender, intersectionality, and now works with Bubbles BGCT, where they work with people with autism spectrum disorder, and she's focusing specifically on the livelihoods bit in that area. Those of you who've come to Guinea's Planet often, you already have seen Poulomi in various workshops and various storytelling sessions, so you already know her very well. So thank you for coming in today, Poulomi, and this is a great start of a new series because we've always been wanting to talk
Uh,
about
right.
also
Yeah.
which nurture empathy and respect for diversity. And we thought, one, because of course, for children, World of Stories is a great introduction to new things and about knowing this world. And what better way to do this than storybooks that are already there for children?
Yes.
Um, right? So, Polumi, what book are you going to talk about today?
All right. So I think of all the things I have done at Guinea's Planet, I think this is my second home online. I think, right. Apart from the other walk meetings that I do, I think I think this is the happiest moment that I'm cherishing because books are something which I love and I would like to share. Today, the book I'm presenting before all of you is this book. It's called Clumsy. It's written by Ken Spillman and the illustration is by Manjari Chakravarti. Tulika Publications, and the book is available now in 9 Indian languages. So English, along with it, Malayalam, Tamil, Telugu, Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, Hindi. It's available in all these languages. There is a reason for which we are speaking about, picking Indian publications, having multilingual capacity because we are speaking about diversity and inclusivity. Um, there is also a reason about this particular book, and we will come to that. But this is how the book looks like, and I would urge all of you to get a copy of it. It's beautiful, and we will soon, much will be unfolded in the course of this short
Right.
meeting. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. So, Pauline, before I go to the question, let me just tell the audience very briefly. Again, remember, this is not to promote any publisher or any certain book. We are doing this purely because somebody is going to vet each book and say, why this book, and why are we bringing it on to talk about empathy and respect for diversity? So, Pauline, why this book?
Okay, so multiple reasons, but I think the most important reason is so I have a daughter who is soon going to be 5, and we keep on reading children's picture books. And there was a plethora of choices before us, but we picked it up for two reasons. One, this is World Autism Month, April, and this book, though not speaking about the disability, also very slightly hints about the struggles of being on a neurodiversity spectrum. Uh, but at the same point of time speaks about it to children so that other children understand empathy and opens up to the to being to raising questions that why disability becomes the only identity of some person and why can someone not raise above it. And the other thing is that some beautiful illustrations. I think most of the picture books in India are doing some great job, but how nicely and through pictures with very minimal text, a book on disability has come. I think I thought that today, since we are also introducing the first session, I think no better book than this because it puts lots of pieces together.
Right. And, on Guinea's Planet also, we talk about disability as part of human diversity and bringing that in conversations. So, what was your experience of reading this to your daughter or with her daughter, like with her?
Okay, so I think very interesting question. See, obviously, my daughter doesn't understand what autism is, right? The word also is as she hears that Mama goes and works somewhere. But the story of this book is about this girl who is almost labeled as being clumsy. that you cannot do anything. And the most the heartbreaking part is that throughout the book we never get to know her name. We just get to know her through the different names that people call her, right? And when she read that, she just did not like it, because she is very proudly tells her own name. She starts writing her own name, like my daughter, I'm saying. So I think when she says that everybody is calling names to that person rather than her own name, I think she did not just like it. She wanted to understand why that is happening. And the second part is that this girl finally finds a solace through visuals, through pictures, through colors, which resonates with my daughter because she also likes, painting, coloring in her own ways. So I think it's very interesting, because as adult, where I will pick up the threads and understand it and decode it as something, because we over process. As a child, it's just simply non-negotiable that you cannot reduce my identity to something which can be a disability. And I think that became very prominent. I never also thought about it in that.
Right, right. And every child connects with the book in their own way, and that's
Yeah,
what your
yeah,
daughter did as
yeah,
well. So is
yeah,
there any particular page or a particular
yeah.
line that you want to read out to us?
Thanks. You said that. So yes, first of all, I would like to two parts, because my daughter reads visually. So this is where, if you can see, she receives her first color box from her grandmother, right? And I think this is the page she comes back to again and again, because it's a very cherished moment. And I think I think the most important part is the colors danced around her and she wanted to dance with them. I think this is the only part in that entire book that suddenly we are hearing a language of agency being applied to the girl. Agency is a very tall word, I know, for children, but I think they also will notice. And um, and and the last page finally, which brings a lot of comfort to children when they will be leaving, because they are suddenly finding a very happy face, right? That she is into something. And it reads, she painted all her stories and she wrote her name in the corner. It was the name that her parents had given, a name that many seemed to have forgotten. And it wasn't clumsy, slow coach, careless, sloppy, messy, butterfinger. It was her name. And I think that one is over, right? Because and it's a pride moment for every child, right? When she starts writing her name. My daughter, though, like, wasted one full page into writing her name in big letters. But I think this was the loveliest part of the book, that you rise above. Nobody is taking your identity with disability, because that's your right to get access. But at the same point of time, you will not be reduced to this one dimensional aspect of yours. And I think
Right,
it's important.
right. And I think it's important for all of us to remember, no matter what we do and where we come from, that it's very important to withhold many labels that we so casually give to people, especially children, and how it sticks to them, how they feel about it. Yeah. So thank you, Paulomi. Thank you so much for bringing this book to us and talking about it. And I hope the audience is going to read it. And do visit Guinness Planet again, Paulomi, and everybody else who's watching this. Know more about us on guinnessplanet.com. And remember that Guinness Planet is building a world where nobody feels like an odd one out and where being different is okay. Thank you so much. We'll see
Thank
you
you so
next
much.
Tuesday.
Yes, and just Shweta, just wanted to say that we are going to bring much more fun books also to discuss. Not everything we will, code it with it, but I think, as you rightly said, stories build empathy, and so we hope to create a repository for each one of us to discussing books. Thank you.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Paulomi, and thank you everyone for joining.